Welcome to Hornbill TV's Primetime with Ngullie, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all are doing great. I did my laundry yesterday, and as soon as I put them out to dry, the rains arrived, and I think all my suits at home are smelling like wet socks now. Today we have a big sporting news, a young footballer from Woka Town who will be joining the Steven Gerrard Academy in the UK after winning a full scholarship during a talent scouting event in the country. Of course, Nagaland has had several footballers playing in various national leagues and bigger sporting platforms such as the I-Leagues. There are several of them. There is Kiwi Zimomi, and of course there is James Kitan, both from the I-League club Kokulam, Kerala FC. There is Hitova Yemi of Minerva Punjab, and there is of course Lironthang Lotha, previously of the Round Glass Punjab too. But this is probably the first time we have someone who apparently has a higher chance of landing a spot somewhere in the Premier League associations in Europe, or maybe who knows, one day he might even be playing with the Premier League clubs. The Steven Gerrard Academy is the biggest step for any aspiring footballer just starting out in the game, and especially for a small state like Nagaland. I think this is a very big opportunity to something bigger in the future. His name, this young player's name is Mongtse Tongoy. So let's go and check out the stories for Monday. A 19-year-old aspiring football player from Woka district has won a full scholarship to attend Steven Gerrard Academy in the UK for the Elite Player Development Program. Former Speaker of Nagaland Legislative Assembly Sharingan Longkamer was re-elected as the Speaker of the 14th NLA on Monday. A 19-year-old aspiring football player from Woka district has won a full scholarship to attend the Steven Gerrard Academy in the United Kingdom for the Elite Player Development Program. Mongtse Tongoy is from Chuti village in Woka district. He won 100% scholarship, which is full scholarship, following a pro soccer global workshop that was conducted during February 16 and 17 in Delhi. The workshop was to assess and offer feedback and a full scholarship to the exceptional players or player for the Elite Player Development Program in football at the Academy. Tungoy was declared the sole winner of more than 250 participants from across India. The updates that we received here on Monday say that earlier in 2022, Tungoy was said to have been selected to attend football trials in Spain. However, he could not avail the opportunity due to COVID restrictions in Europe back then. The update stated the event was organized by the UEFA and the International Soccer Showcase, scouting players for the future. Update said Mr. Tongoy also completed his matriculation from Cambridge International School in Guwahati earlier, and of course his higher secondary from Delhi Public School in Dimapur. Many of you football fans already know much about the former Liverpool legend and England international Steven Gerrard. So let's talk about this academy and what it means for young Mr. Tongoy. The Steven Gerrard Academy was founded in 2011. So during the past about 10 years, the Academy says it had about 1,000 graduates. Most of them have been promoted to divisions, including Division D, Division C, and of course the top flight leagues. In 2019, Steven Gerrard formed an official partnership with Liverpool Football College. The Academy touts a game program that enables players to be in a team that is ideal to their age ability and physicality. The academy has about 11 squads. That's what we know about the institution so far. Elite squads have the opportunity to play in the FA Youth Cup against professional youth academies. Yes, besides getting the opportunity to compete in National Football League against Premier League and Championship clubs, they also enjoy a very high level of training facility frameworks. Now that's something that is really worth fighting for. Of course, they will also be participating in very high profile showcase games that are not really part of the competition, but more to do with promotion of their clubs and the mission statement of their clubs. The academy also has squads that play in local leagues and cup competitions. That is, I think, a very normal fixture for all football academies, especially in the European countries. However, the academy says that all the teams follow the same program content. Their curriculum is the same. The academy also touts that every squad has the opportunity to tour to the likes of Dallas, and then Spain, Tenerife, and Finland, and the United Kingdom destinations. So these are the places that the students of this academy, or more precisely the players from this academy, will be touring these places. The institution has also a number of sites across the UK and Ireland, of course, including, why not, Liverpool, Chester, Derry, and Larney. All the students across these sites have access to top level facilities consisting of 4G football pitches and gym facilities, as well as the best football equipment for training sessions. And I think that is very expected, because unlike many countries in Asia and elsewhere, the football economy in Europe is top class, and I think it goes without saying that they will be enjoying all these top facilities during their stay. In addition to its own facilities, the Steven Gerrard Academy also has links with local universities to access their sports facilities and equipment, of course. So what is the elite player performance plan for football players? For those of you who might not know, it is a youth development scheme initiated by the Premier League. The intention of the program is to improve the quality and the quantity of homegrown players produced by the top Premier clubs. All the best to Mongtse Tungoi, and I hope you really make it out there. Let's check out the next news to explore. So now back to Nagaland Legislative Assembly. I told you that the former Speaker of Nagaland Legislative Assembly, Sharingan Longamer, would be the main man for the hollowed halls. This is probably a record for the Assembly, that it has for the first time had the same Speaker for 2 consecutive terms. If I'm not mistaken, this will be the first time we will have the same person holding the same post for 2 terms. Actually third, technically speaking. He was Deputy Speaker, and then he was Speaker the previous term, and now he has been re-elected the Speaker of our Assembly. So I think this is a record of some sort. I tried to find a full list of the Nagaland Legislative Assembly speakers since 1963, but only about 5 names came up, all of them different. But I believe Mr. Longamer probably is making history there. Longamer won the recent state assembly election from Aulangdan constituency in Mokokchung district. He was elected unopposed to the post of Speaker. Although unopposed would suggest that he was named to the post by a system of contest, actually it is a formality. It was already a foregone conclusion that he would be named the Speaker, as the NDPP and the BJP alliance had already filled all the ministerial slots. Generally in India, speakers are always from the ruling parties. Of course, there have been instances in the Indian parliamentary system when speakers from non-ruling parties were elected to the post of Speaker. But generally it is the ruling party or the allies that sets up a speaker. So considering that the NDPP BJP alliance already had filled all the ministerial and advisory berths, and Longkamer's name was not in the list of the advisors and minister, it was very clear to all of us that he would be the speaker again. Updates received here said Longkamer's name was proposed by Minister Timjin Imna Along and endorsed by advisor Kekrel Hole Yome. So all the best to the new speaker there. To Shari out there, congratulations Shari, and we are hoping to get the Akshi from you. Atho and Atho is also here. Congratulations again. This is a public service broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about the top most important traffic rules for car drivers. Many people might feel offended, but it just takes one look at our traffic, especially in Dimapur and Kohima, to know that Nagaland's roads aren't the safest or the most educated roads. And I don't mean that the roads should have gone to college or school, but us, the drivers. People sometimes joke that the Naga people might have learned how to drive by Google searching, you know, or we might have learned driving by through email or phones. So there are some who are responsible drivers, many of them actually, but by observing how we ride the streets and how we see things work on our streets every day, I think many of us are still oblivious that our streets are not public property. It does not belong to our aunts or uncles. It does not belong to us. It is public property, but we fail to recognize that. We use it very, very carelessly. We also disregard the lives of others. We disregard property. So when we are using our roads here, so let's talk about some of the rules that I believe are something that we should be really keeping in mind, not only for those who are driving but also those who don't use cars. The first rule, do not drink and drive. I think we do not need an explanation in this. Just recently in December 22, about 40 children had a narrow escape when their drunken bus driver ran into an auto rickshaw in Mumbai. Psychologists say that drunken people are actually aware of what's going on, and they know the risk from their action, they know the consequences, they are aware of it. Maybe they are not in full control of their bodies, yeah, but psychologists say that they are in full control of their bodies, even when they are fully in control of their thoughts, even when they are drunk. So the only difference here is that they don't care when they have taken alcohol, because alcohol numbs your feeling for fear, and it numbs the threat to risks. So you know what the consequences are, you know what the threats are, but your mind doesn't register the risks. You don't care, your mind doesn't care. So that is why it is dangerous to drink and drive, because alcohol is a depressant, meaning it slows down processes in your brain, and it also affects your central nervous system. It will then affect the body's nerve endings and slow down your brain functions. So this causes feelings of excitement and numbness. So when you're numb, it means that you might not know, but you are not afraid, you don't care, you know. You're not afraid that your driving is going to harm someone or damage some property that does not belong to you. So your feelings are all numbed by the alcohol that you have taken. So besides risking the lives of people on the road, the lives of co-passengers, and of course your own life, being caught driving while drunken can land you with a big fine and of course a very long jail time. So Western countries have this concept of designated driver. A designated driver is someone who is in a group but does not drink or is not allowed to drink with that group during social events by a group he goes out with. So if you are going out with your best friends and all of them plan to drink, then you are to declare that you are not going to drink. Why? Because you are going to drive them back home. It is illegal if you are drunk and you drive. So that's how things work in Western countries. So that way, when all of your friends are drunk, your friend who doesn't drink or who did not drink during your outing will have to drive you home so that your parents won't have to live a life of sorrow later on. The attorney agency Wapner Jones says it has been estimated that designated drivers have saved approximately 50,000 lives since the idea was popularized in the 1980s. In fact, the designated driver program was that effective that only 6 years after the initial campaign started, the number of drunk driving related fatalities was at an all-time low with an overall decrease of 30%. That's a lot. So according to Indian laws, if you are found driving with a blood alcohol level of more than 0.03% in your body, then you are breaking the law. The permissible limit for alcohol is 30 mg per 100 ml of blood. If you are found drinking and driving, you will be penalized for an amount ranging from Rs 2,000 to Rs 10,000. Drunken driving also attracts imprisonment for a period ranging from 7 months to 4 years. Remember, it is not only your life that matters, other people have lives too. So don't drink and drive. Even better, don't drink at all. I think that would be my advice to anyone who drinks. I think the Nagaland Road Safety Authority can introduce measures to instate designated drivers. That will be a really great initiative, and I think it will also save lives. The state government has already constituted a state level road safety committee and district level road safety committees to carry out road safety measures. However, I'm not sure if they are overseeing implementation of traffic rules on the ground. I don't want to insult your intelligence by explaining why you shouldn't drink and drive, because I think the story speaks for itself. There's the second rule: always wear your seat belt. Driving a car with a seat belt not only ensures your safety, but also mandated by the law. So it is a basic common sense. Whenever I see drivers wearing seat belts, it gives me hope that Nagaland's more than 2 million people have at least several people who love life. I wouldn't want to insult your intelligence by explaining why wearing a seat belt is important. Third rule: don't talk on the phone while driving. Even if you are using a wireless device and your hands are free, it is not the action but the distraction to your mind. Studies have examined distracted drivers' safety against data in regard to drivers using hands-free devices. So these studies show that the crash risk is not significantly different from either of the sides. There is only a marginal improvement and barely any difference. In other words, whether you are using hands-free, Bluetooth, or just earphones, or whether you are just holding a physical phone to your ears and talking while driving, the level of risk is almost the same. There is no change. There's only a marginal improvement in the difference between the two. But drivers with no distractions at all, of course, are still less likely to crash than those who are busy on the phone or are distracted by other devices. So according to the new motor vehicles rules that came into effect in 2020, the driver can use his or her mobile phone only as a navigational device. You can use Google Maps, you can check out the maps to see which direction you are going and all that, but you cannot use it to talk on the phone. So that's one of the rules. If you are caught talking on the phone or for any purpose other than navigation, you will be fined for an amount of up to Rs 5,000 besides a jail term. It will be great if Nagaland police would get serious with this, because I think it is very common for many, almost all of us, I think, that we don't use seat belts, we talk on the phone while driving, and of course we have a lot of reckless drivers too. So there's the fourth rule: rash driving and speeding. Again, I don't want to insult your intelligence by explaining why you shouldn't speed and why it is dangerous to fly on the roads. Responsible citizens drive within the speed limit even if the entire road is empty and nobody is watching them. It is as much about safety for yourself and others as much as it is for your self-respect and respect for the law. So another aspect is mechanical failure. As my elder brother once said, no matter how technologically advanced your car is, no matter how skilled your driving is, a car is still a hunk of bolts and wire and metal and iron without a mind of its own. There will always be mechanical events that might occur beyond your control. So I think it was just the previous year, about I think in November or December, that Hornbill TV went to picnic in Newland, and along the way while we were going, suddenly, and we were not even going fast, the road was not that good, so we were going slowly, and suddenly the steering wheel of the van that we were traveling in just set itself free, and we carried into a nearby fishery, or almost went into the fishery. So we were not even speeding, we were just going slowly, and suddenly the mechanical failure happened. It was by God's grace that we didn't drive into the fishery just at the edge of the road. So things like that happen. So it's not just about safety, it's also no understanding that you are not always the one in control of your circumstances, meaning the safest car is the one that has the driver who drives safely, responsibly, soberly. Besides, when you are driving steady, you are also more alert and have faster reflexes, meaning you have a fairly sufficient time to respond to situations fast. For example, you are speeding and a pedestrian or a cyclist or a biker comes out of the bend suddenly. A car might blind spot you from behind and overtake you, you won't even know. Or children might start running out from the corners when you're driving in colony lanes. So if something like that happens, you don't have the time to react. You don't have the time to negotiate through those situations to be able to prevent any accidents. So if you're driving slow, responsibility, being alert to your surroundings, then even if these situations come up, you have a higher chance of navigating yourself out of those situations to prevent any kind of accidents that would cause distress to you and others also. So if you're driving slowly, steadily, you have higher chances of reacting to those situations at the right time. So if you are not speeding, you can navigate these situations fairly fast. Violations of all these basic traffic rules has legal consequences in both jail time and hefty fines, yes, but no jail or fine, ladies and gentlemen, can ever bring back a human being's life back to their family. So drive safe. Those were the stories from Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Keep supporting Hornbill TV. We'll be back with you with more news for you. I'm Ngullie. See you next time.